Okay, well, we came from Minnesota when I was 3 years old, and the first camp meeting that we attended was when I was 4 years old. Just a little tiny guy. Anyway, we have gone to camp meeting for 50 some years, about 50, what, 50, more than that, 60 some years, and we missed a few, but it's been a real wonderful thing for us and our family. As we grew our family, um, we put a trailer. Tim remembers that. Of course, all the kids do. But we had it down by between a couple of trees down by the fence, and then through the years, it's camp meeting has been a great benefit to us spiritually. Um, it's been a real uplifting time. Right now, we have Ty Gibson in preaching, and he is preaching on how Christ did it all for us, and they're touching on how Martin Luther, um, during his lifetime, changed the whole picture of Protestantism. He was actually the starting of Protestantism, coming out of the Catholic Church. He didn't actually mean to come out of the Catholic Church at all. He wanted to change the church. He felt the church was not following in the right direction, and he tried his best to talk them into changing, but they would not. So he finally dropped out. But anyway, coming back to the campgrounds, a few years back, they took out all the tents and all the cabins, and left only one cabin. They thought that they would leave one for historic value so that other people could teach their kids how it used to be. And we had one cabin for several years, probably 10 years. And then one of the other fellows that was doing the work in the cabin, he and I decided we needed a tent to go along with the cabin, because they had destroyed all the tents and there was nothing left whatsoever for the tents. And so he and I built a tent, and we found a canvas to go on it. Had a hard time doing that, but finally found one up at Hope, Canada. And it was really actually kind of providential that we happened to think we were just about to give it up, and in fact I was down to the president's office talking to him about buying, going to an tent awning company in Salem to have them make one for us. But he happened to think that he's from Canada, and he says he thought Hope would have one yet. Maybe they weren't using them anymore, but they might have one in their warehouse. So he went ahead and called up there, and sure enough, they did have several left. And they said, you know what, we've got a guy coming down your way, and I will send one down. So about 2 days later, I come over, and sure enough, there was a tent right in front of the cabin. So I stretched it out on the pavement, measured it all up from one side to the other, and corner to this corner, and figured how to make the tent. And of course, I think the Lord had his hand in that too, because I had never made a tent frame before, and I was just hoping the thing would fit. We took the tent, put it on, and it just fit perfect.
The reason that the tents had left the campgrounds was order of the fire marshal. They were just a few feet apart, some of them just inches apart, And if one had caught fire, it would have been a real tragic kind of thing. So they said that we had to take the tents and the cabins both out. And besides that, social things had changed, so people had motorhomes and trailers, and so there was less need for the tents and the cabins. It's interesting though, as people come through, they'll say, "Oh, I remember that. I wish we still had the tents."
So, for someone who's never been to camp meeting, describe what camp meeting is. What's it like to be at camp meeting, to go to camp meeting?
A camp meeting is a very educational, spiritual time. We have speakers coming in with all different kinds of subjects, like medical subjects and how to do evangelism and health doctors on health subjects. It's a great learning time. And also the evening meetings and the very early morning meetings are highlights. Uh, they are all very spiritual. Like I said before, Ty Gibson is doing the evening one now, and he is very intellectual.